Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining me. My name is Lauren and I am the Yoga and Fitness Program Coordinator at the McFetridge Sports Center. And today I will be walking you through a Vinyasa yoga class where we will focus on twisting the spine. So that is where we will be moving, and you don't need anything. We are going to start right away on our backs. So you can come on down onto your back. When I'm on my back, I like to support my head with just a thinly folded towel. That is optional, you don't have to do that. But I find that it makes laying on your back more comfortable and keeps the neck in neutral for most people. So maybe you do that. But either way, come down onto your back in a comfortable reclined position. Legs can be long, knees can be bent. It doesn't really matter to me here how you position yourself. But just come down onto your back in a very neutral and effortless position. And as you let yourself settle, let your body rest and relax, we will certainly work the body throughout the practice, but these first few moments here, that's not the intention. That's really not the point here. Yoga is so much more than just moving your body around. And so we take the first few moments here to do that, to do more than just move the body around. So we shift our focus here to the breath. For a few moments, just notice your breath. First, noticing, do you breathe through your nose or your mouth? And there's not a right or a wrong answer. You are just observing your body and your habits. So notice, am I breathing through my nose or my mouth? And then the next step is noticing whether the breath makes a sound. Maybe it's silent. And you don't have to change it. There's no right or wrong. Just notice, does my breath create a sound or is it silent? And then one step further. Notice where your breath goes. So it starts in either the nose or the mouth, but where does it go after that? And so to help you with that, place your right hand at your low belly, below your belly button, and place your left hand over your chest, by your heart, by your collarbones. So right hand at the low belly, left hand at the chest, but let the arms rest on the floor. So if that means your hands are off center, closer to the hip and the shoulder, that's okay. But let the elbows rest, the upper arm bones rest. Just let your hands rest somewhere on your body. And notice your natural breath. Are you breathing into the left hand? Are you breathing into the right hand? Are you breathing into both or neither? Where do you feel the breath? Just notice. Now, for most of us, especially when we're seated or standing, when we're upright, we breathe into the chest. So you might feel the breath predominantly in your left hand, and that's okay. But those are pretty short and shallow breaths. So now let's deepen the breath. Now begin to manipulate your breath so you're breathing more deeply into the low belly. So you feel the breath predominantly in your right hand, below the belly button, below the waistband of the pants, deep at the bottom of the torso, deep at the bottom of the lungs. So begin to take deeper, fuller, longer, slower breaths, breathing in to your low belly. Let's take 3 belly breaths here. the end of that third belly breath, you can just allow your natural breath to come back, the natural ebb and flow and rhythm of your breath. Let it come back and allow your arms to rest alongside your body with your palms facing up. Belly breathing is said to have a calming and quieting effect on the body, on the nervous system, and on your energy. So this might be a good tool to place in your back pocket to come back to belly breathing at any point, on or off your mat. Now keeping your attention inward. If it feels right for you, you're welcome to set an intention for your practice. Ask yourself what brought you to your mat. Think of a positive word or phrase. Give yourself some time to silently and slowly repeat it, to allow that intention to settle in your heart. Now start to slowly deepen your breath again. Bring some soft movements throughout your body. You can move your arms and legs, maybe rock your head side to side. Give yourself a few moments to move in any way that feels good. Okay, and then in another breath or so, we'll meet with the knees bent and the feet flat. All right, we'll bring the feet and the knees together here and the arms alongside the body, palms down. Okay, so what we're going to be spending our time in this vinyasa sequence is on twisting the spine. And for a lot of the twists that we're going to do, the abdominal muscles need to be engaged, so it's a strong, safe twist. We will be doing passive twists, but for a lot of the ones that we want to do, we want them to be very effortful and engaged twists. So we are going to start to fire this space up. All right. So to begin, inhale and let your ribs lift away from your mat towards the ceiling. So you're in a back bend. So if you were to take your hand and slide it under your spine and your ribs, you could. You could slide your arm to the space between your body and your mat. That's good here, but in a moment we're going to get rid of that and we want to keep it gone. So if you had your arm under your spine, remove it. Take a deep breath in. Let your ribs lift, and then exhale, draw the ribs down and keep them down. So now the ribs will push down into the floor, navel in towards the spine, spine to the floor, ribs down, spine down, torso down. You absolutely can no longer place your hand under your body. That's what we want to maintain. So throughout this, until I cue you to release, ribs down, you should feel your abs engaged. Now, when we want the abs engaged, you can't breathe into your belly. If you breathe into your belly, you just broke up the abdominal engagement. So in order to keep it tight, we can't push the air down there. Air has to stay up here. Breath has to stay up by the chest. So I know it's the opposite of what we just did, but belly breathing was to relax. We're not relaxing anymore. We're working. So breathe closer into your chest as you keep the abdominals engaged and draw the ribs down. Okay, now keep the ribs down, relax the arms, palms flat on the floor beside you, beside your hips. Squeeze your inner thighs in toward each other. Do you feel how that engages your abs more? Because it does. You might not feel it, but squeezing the inner thighs in will help you work your abs more. So squeeze the inner thighs in, push the ribs down. Now lift your feet up off the ground like you're resting your heels on a coffee table. So feet are together, knees are together, thighs are squeezing in. When you look over your kneecaps, you can see your toes, but not the tops of the feet. The hope is that the knees make a right angle. So for a moment, draw your knees in towards your chest. Draw your thighs in towards your belly. Do you notice how your abs don't work when you do that? So we're not doing that. Push the thighs away. The knees are stacked over the hips. We want the thighs to be a straight vertical line, straight up and down. Okay, knees make a right angle. So squeeze inner thighs, push ribs down, push the spine down, take a breath, and then allow the feet to release and then the abs to relax. Okay, so now the ribs can come up. Okay, so we're gonna do that a few more times. We're gonna keep building on what we're doing. And the hope there is that you felt your abs turn on. What's important to remember is that when we're working the abs, you should only feel it in the front of the body, not your lower back, not even remotely. So just keep checking in with your body. Know that you can always take a break and rest. All right, we're gonna do that again. So this time, let's bring the arms out in opposite directions, palms face down. All right, so inhale, lift the ribs towards the ceiling, create a back bend. Exhale, draw the ribs down, keep them down. Push the ribs into the floor like you're trying to push the floor away from you. You are actively pushing into the floor. Okay, ribs push down, abs engage, inner thighs squeeze, 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 and then keep squeezing. Lift your feet up off the ground, rest them on an invisible coffee table. Now, make sure that the knees are stacked over the hips, the knees and thighs are squeezing into one another, ribs push down, abs activated. All right, now, inhale, let your legs fall halfway over to the right to about a 45-degree angle. Exhale, return them back to the center. Push the ribs down. Inhale, let the legs fall halfway over to the left, about a 45-degree angle. Exhale, return back to the center. We're gonna do two more. Inhale, halfway over to the right. Squeeze inner thighs. Exhale, return to the center. Push the ribs down. Inhale, halfway over to the left. Squeeze inner thighs. Exhale, return to the center. One more each side. Ribs are down. Inhale, go right. Exhale, return to center. Last one, really check in, make sure everything's where it needs to be. Inhale, go to the left. Exhale, return to the center, and then very slowly place the feet back down. Okay, you can relax your ribs, maybe lift them up for a moment. So again, the abdominal muscles here in the center are working hard to keep the feet up, but then as you were twisting, it was a very mild twist, you were twisting, the obliques should have been turning on. Okay. Just in case if they weren't, let's do it again. So option one is to do what we did the first time, just hold legs still. Option two, let the legs move. Option three, final time we're gonna do this, we're gonna add arms. So now bring your arms alongside your body, palms down again, but they could stay down and out opposite directions. All right, so inhale, let the ribs lift. Exhale, push the ribs down, keep them down. Now you are holding this downward position of your belly, but you are continuing to breathe, breathing in the chest. So it's okay if you're breathing up here by the heart and the collarbones. That's actually better, okay? Push the ribs down, squeeze the inner thighs in, lift the feet up off the ground like they're resting on an invisible coffee table. So inner thighs squeeze, ribs push down. Now, arms will lift up overhead like you're reaching your fingertips for the ceiling, but place your palms flat, like you're placing handprints on the ceiling. So think how your arms would look in like a plank or a tabletop. Arms extended overhead, palms facing the ceiling, so you're looking at your knuckles, basically. All right, so squeeze inner thighs, push ribs down, reach arms up. Okay, now inhale, let the legs go halfway over to the right as the arms go halfway over to the left. Take a twist, use the obliques. Exhale, return everything back to the center. Now hold it for a moment in the center. Squeeze inner thighs, push ribs down, lengthen arms. Inhale as you go the opposite way. Legs go halfway over to the left, arms go halfway over to the right. You're twisting, obliques are working. Exhale to the center, pause in the center, reset. Inner thigh squeeze, ribs down, arms long. Inhale, legs go to the right, arms go to the left. Take that little twist. Exhale, return to the center. Reset, squeeze, engage. Keep breathing. Inhale, legs go to the left, arms go to the right. Use the obliques to exhale, return it back. We're gonna do one more each side. Squeeze, engage. Inhale, take a little mini twist. Exhale, use your abs to bring everything back. Reset, last one. Inhale, take that twist. Exhale, square everything up again, back at the center, and then let everything relax. Whoo-wee. Your abs should have been feeling it. Same with the side abs, the obliques. So when you take that twist, notice that that was a controlled twist. It wasn't just a flop to one side. And there's nothing wrong with that flop to one side. I love those. I do those daily. But here we want engagement. Okay. Inhale. Exhale, hug the knees into the chest, maybe rock side to side. Give yourself a few moments. We're going to give the abs a break for a little bit, but that's what we're looking for in some of these later poses. That was some big foreshadowing because this shape should maybe, for some of you, look familiar. It looks a little bit more like this, but we are coming to it later. I won't spoil it in case you don't know what it is, but we're coming to that shape later. All right, take a deep breath in. Exhale, hug the knees into the chest. Oh, I think I already told you to do that, didn't I? That's all right. And then from here, come up to a seat. So you can rock through to the center, you can roll to your side, whatever you need, but come on up to a seat, preferably sitting on something. If you don't have something, that's okay. But if you do, you might as well use it. You got it for a reason, right? Okay. So come to a comfortable seat. We won't be sitting long. You don't have to sit the way I'm sitting. Just sit comfortably and tall. Really lengthen the spine. Relax the shoulders. So I mentioned that we're going to be twisting the spine. That's the focus of the practice. But to make sure that those twists are really safe and effective, we've got to move the spine in all of its directions. So inhale, draw your belly forward, lift your chest, lift your heart, maybe even look up. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, ribs back, chin to the chest, look down. We'll do 2 more of each. Inhale as you draw the heart forward, ribs forward, chest up. Exhale, ribs back, chin to the chest, look down. 1 more of each. Inhale. Exhale. And then return to the center, back to a neutral spine. Lengthen. Inhale, circle the arms up, fingertips reach to the sky. Exhale, bring the right hand down, left fingertips sweep up and over. Take this side stretch. Inhale to the center, lengthen up. Exhale, switch sides. Left hand down, right fingertips reach to the center, take the side stretch. Inhale to the center, let's do 2 more each side. Exhale, this is a lateral bend, a side stretch, and the lateral stretches will especially help us get the twists to be deeper. So something to keep in mind. Let's do 1 more each side as you sweep up and over, really expanding through the side of the body. Because really when we're twisting, we're focusing on the sides. So both of these movements open up the side of the body. Now let's get into that twisting. So inhale, exhale, drop the arms, turn and twist your heart to the right. Inhale to the center, lengthen up. Exhale, drop the arms, take a twist to the left. 2 more each side, move with your breath. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Let's do 1 more each side. Know that throughout this practice, if you're a step or 2 ahead of or behind my cueing, that's okay. This is your own home practice. Move in a way that you need to move, that makes sense for you. That is so important. Inhale, return to the center. Exhale, let the arms come all the way down. All right, let's set up in tabletop. So I'm going to bring my blocks to the top 2 corners of my mat. But again, if you don't have props, that is okay. All right, so we're going to start in tabletop, and we're going to start to really get working. So from tabletop, walk your hands 1 whole handprint closer to the top of your mat, farther away from your knees. Spread your fingers, hook the toes under. Inhale, exhale, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Give yourself a few moments to maybe pedal out the heels, lift and lower the heels, shake the head yes and no, sway the hips, whatever feels good for you. Because this is probably your first down dog of the day, maybe of the week, maybe of the month, maybe of the year, and that's okay. But give yourself that freedom to sort of explore, see what your body needs today. Take another breath. All right, Now deeply bend the knees. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, walk or step forward into forward fold. These first few I always encourage students to move a little slower with those transitions. Okay, but eventually you land in forward fold, Uttanasana, letting the upper body surrender and feel heavy. Maybe the knees are bent. I also like to encourage students to have a soft bend in the knees the first few forward folds of the practice, but you listen to your body. Take a breath. Now firmly push the heels into the floor. Inhale, lift up halfway. We're going to hold it here for a few moments. So your hands can come to blocks or the floor, your shins or your thighs, but really elongate the spine. Create as much length as you can. Crown of the head forward, tailbone back. Think the action like when you were sitting up tall, do that even though you're not sitting anymore. Okay, now really lengthen. Push the heels down and inhale, rise up. Fingertips reach to the sky. Maybe add a bit of a back bend at the top and then slowly bring your hands to your heart. Take a deep breath into Tadasana, mountain pose. Okay, we'll do some sun salutations here. Surya Namaskar, we'll start with some C's and then move to some A's. We are gonna get moving. So inhale, reach fingertips to the sky. Exhale, hinge the hips, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step the right foot back, all the way back, come into a runner's lunge. Hands under shoulders on either the mat or blocks, whatever you've got, okay? Inhale, exhale, step back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Spread your fingers as wide as they will go. Inhale, shift forward, plank pose. Okay, here we're gonna hold this pose. Every time we come here, we'll hold it a little bit longer. You're always welcome to stay here on your toes or drop to your knees or switch back and forth throughout the practice, whatever you need. But I want you to be active here. Keep it up. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, slowly lower all the way down onto the ground. Bring the tops of the feet down onto the ground. The arms alongside your body. Push your hips down. Inhale, lift your upper body. So reach your fingertips back like you're reaching for your feet and reach the crown of your head forward like you're reaching for the wall in front of you with the crown of your head. You're looking down at your mat. Work your backside. Inhale, lower the hands under the shoulders. Exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. All right, from downward facing dog, pick up the right foot, reach the right heel back, keep the hips level. Inhale. Exhale, draw the right knee forward towards the belly and quietly place the foot in between the hands. Come back to the runner's lunge. Now the foot has to come all the way forward in between the hands. Inhale. Exhale, step forward, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Push the heels down, inhale, rise. Fingertips to the sky. We're gonna do that again, but we're gonna add a twist. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step the left foot back. We're gonna hold this runner's lunge a little bit longer. So left foot is stepped back. Right heel is firmly pushing down. Left hand is directly under the left shoulder to the inside of the right foot, to the big toe side of the right foot. Firm up that left hand. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, reach right fingertips to the sky as you take a twist. Now notice as you turn your torso to the right, your right knee will want to go with. Don't let it. Push the base of the right big toe down into the floor as you reach right fingertips to the sky. Maybe even look to the sky. Take a deep breath. Inhale, return the right hand. Exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Spread your fingers, push the hands down. Inhale, shift forward, plank pose. Now, plank, the whole front side of the body is working. Abdominal muscles, chest, shoulders, arms, legs, everything. Keep it up, stay strong, stay firm, stay lean. You got it. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, slowly lower. Arms alongside the body, tops of the feet down. Inhale, lift up. Maybe you lift just the upper body, maybe you lift the legs, but really lengthen through the fingertips and toes and reach the crown of the head forward. Feel the back side of the body work. Inhale, lower down, hands under shoulders. Exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Okay, pick up the left foot, reach the left heel back, three-legged dog, keep the hips level. Inhale, exhale, draw the left knee forward towards the belly, quietly place the foot in between the hands. So it's gotta come all the way forward. Now, left heel pushes down as the right foot reaches back. Right hand comes directly under the right shoulder to the inside of the left foot towards the big toe side, because that'll be different later. Push the right hand down, inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, take a twist, reach left fingertips to the sky. So, right hand pushes down, left fingertips reach up. Base of the left big toe pushes down, heart turns up. Take a breath. Inhale, lower the hand. Exhale, step forward, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Push the heels down, inhale, rise. We're gonna move through Surya Namaskar A. So exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step right into plank. So it doesn't matter to me if you step with your right or your left first, but next time, do the opposite. So from a plank, you're welcome to stay here, or really get into the side of the body through the obliques. Firm up the right hand, shift your weight into the right, pick up the left, take Vasisthasana, side plank pose. So now those right obliques, those side abs, those muscles that are going to help you twist, they are working. Vasisthasana, side plank pose. Take a breath. Inhale, return back to plank. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, take your back bend, any back bend you'd like. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to stay for a few breaths here. So take some deep breaths. Notice what you're feeling. One more deep breath. Okay, now deeply bend the knees. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel forward. Walk, step, or jump. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Push the heels down. Inhale, rise. We're going to do that one last time. Surya Namaskar. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step to plank. Maybe step with the opposite foot this time. Now from a plank, you absolutely could stay here, work the front of the body, or really shift your weight into your left, pick up the right, Vasisthasana, side plank pose. Now we're shifting the weight of the body into the left side. So left arm and left leg have to work more, but so do those left obliques, those side abs. You got it. Inhale, return back to plank. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale to your back bend, whatever feels best. Exhale, downward facing dog. And a few breaths here. Check in, observe, notice. All right, now deeply bend the knees. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel forward. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold and surrender. Push the heels down. Inhale, rise. Fingertips to the sky. Maybe at a back bend, bring the hands to the heart. Take a deep breath. Let's get into our standing poses. So here, let's bring the feet closer together. Big toes will touch. There's a little bit of space between the heels, so your toes are still pointing forward. Okay, and you can easily wiggle your toes. Inhale, reach fingertips up towards the ceiling. Exhale as you draw your seat down towards the floor. So we're sitting in an invisible chair. This is often called chair pose. It really translates to fierce pose, which sometimes I think I like that more. Chair pose gives us the idea that we're sitting in this invisible chair because we don't want it to look like this. We want it to look more like this. But fierce pose should feel like a fierce pose to be in. Your quads should be feeling like they are working hard, maybe even your glutes, but not your lower back. So oftentimes people sort of sway their lower back in this pose. You might have to draw the ribs in. Drop down towards the floor, drop back with your seat. You can still easily wiggle your toes. Take a deep breath, Utkatasana, fierce pose. Inhale, exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step the right foot back, all the way back, and then pivot the foot so that the heel comes down, right toes point to the right. Push firmly through both heels and inhale, slowly rise, warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. Okay, so in a vinyasa sequence, we usually move at the pace of the breath. This is sort of the portion of the class where I don't usually teach in that way. I teach a little more hatha style, so we're gonna hold these poses for a little bit longer. So the front heel is firmly pushing into the floor. That front thigh should feel like it's working. And also push the left knee to the left, open through the hip a little. Push the right heel down and back. And pushing the heels into the floor will help you lengthen. Reach the arms out, let the shoulders relax. Turn so you're looking over your left middle finger. Warrior two, stay for a few more deep breaths, really grounding the heels, reaching up through the crown of the head, lengthening out through the arms. One more deep breath. Okay, keep the legs as they are. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, Parsvakonasana, side angle pose. So your left elbow bends, forearm rests on the top of the thigh, the left palm faces up. Right fingertips can reach to the ceiling or at a diagonal in line with the rest of the right side of your body. So wherever you're at, you are pushing the heels down, lengthening the spine, and making sure that the right shoulder doesn't drop down, especially when we bring the arm up overhead, the shoulder wants to drop down. So can you turn your heart to the ceiling? Parsvakonasana, side angle pose, take a deep breath. Now slowly bring the right hand to the right hip. If you've got a block, you'll need one here. So with your left hand, you'll grab onto a block, probably on the highest height, but it's up to you. And you're gonna reach it forward of the left pinky toe. I'm gonna scoot back because I don't want my block on an uneven edge. Okay, so you're gonna reach it forward of your left pinky toe. You're gonna look down at something on the floor, something that won't move, and start to shift your weight forward into Ardha Chandrasana, balancing half moon pose. Right heel pushes back towards the wall behind you as you keep that leg long and lifted as if gravity has no effect on the right leg. Left heel pushes down, it is heavy, it's like lead, grounding, being a strong anchor, a strong firm base for your body. With your right hand at your right hip, draw your right hip back, open your hips. Your belly button should point to the side of the room, not the floor. And then if you feel stable, right fingertips can reach to the sky. Ardha Chandrasana, balancing half moon pose. Take a deep breath. And then deeply bend the left knee. Let the right foot touch down towards the back of the mat. Inhale, return to a warrior two for just a breath or two. Inhale. Exhale, cartwheel the arms. Step back, downward facing dog. You've got 3 to 5 breaths before we do that again on the second side. So you're welcome to stay in down dog or follow along with me and take a vinyasa. Inhale, shift forward to plank. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now, anytime we've got those transitional periods, you can do whatever you need. Maybe that's a child's pose. Maybe you want to come back to that side plank. Whatever you need. Take a breath. Now, deeply bend the knees. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel forward. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Push the heels down. Inhale, rise. Fingertips to the sky. Maybe add that back bend. Bring your hands to your heart. Take a deep breath. Okay. Same thing, second side. I'm going to turn so I'm still facing you, but you can stay right where you're at. All right. So shifting the weight into the heels and bringing the feet closer together. Inhale, reach fingertips to the sky. Exhale, chair pose, fierce pose, Utkatasana. So I'm going to drop my arm just so I'm not talking into my armpit, but you can keep your arms up overhead. So you're drawing your feet together and your knees together. So for the safety of your knees, your feet and your knees need to do the same thing. So this is going to hurt your knees and this is going to hurt your knees. They both need to be together. Okay. You are sitting down towards the floor and back, again, like you're sitting in an invisible chair. Quads working hard, glutes working hard. Take a deep breath. Inhale, exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step the left foot back, all the way back. Pivot the foot, ground the heel. Push firmly into both heels and inhale, slowly rise. Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Okay, so you're firmly pushing through the heels, both heels. We often get so hung up on this front leg, drawing the knee forward and to the right, the heel down, the ability to wiggle the toes. Those things are all important, but the back leg should also be pushing down. You've got these two heels pushing down. That allows you to lengthen, to stand up tall. Reach the arms out, relax the shoulders. Look over your right middle finger. Warrior 2, keep grounding the heels. Make the legs work. Take a deep breath. Okay, now keep the legs as they are. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, Parsvakonasana, side angle pose. Right elbow bends, forearm on the top of the left, on the top of the right thigh. Left fingertips can reach to the sky or at a diagonal, but make sure if you do this diagonal, the arm doesn't start to drop in front of you or the shoulder doesn't start to drop. So draw your left shoulder back, your heart towards the ceiling as you push the heels into the floor. So keep the body long. From left fingertips to the left heel is one long diagonal line. Take a deep breath. Okay, left hand will come to the left hip. If you're using a block, you're gonna grab onto that now. And you're gonna deeply bend the right knee, bring your right hand forward of your right pinky toe, about 8 or so inches, depends on the length of your torso. I'm gonna scoot back because I'm gonna hit that lamp, but okay. So you're gonna keep your eyes on a fixed spot, shift your weight forward, Ardha Chandrasana, balancing half moon pose. Left leg is not even affected by gravity, lifted, floating, effortlessly up, push through the heel. Now with your left hand at your left hip, draw your left hip back, point your belly button over to the side of the room, not the floor, not the mat, the side of the room, the windows, the door, whatever is in your room, over to the left. And then maybe left fingertips reach to the left. Ardha Chandrasana, balancing half moon pose. Take a breath. Deeply bend the right knee. Let the left foot touch down. Return to a warrior 1 for just a moment. Inhale, exhale, cartwheel the arms. Step back downward facing dog. 3 to 5 breaths before we keep moving. You can stay still, you can take a child pose, or maybe a vinyasa. Inhale, plank, exhale, lower. Inhale, back bend, exhale, down dog. Take a deep breath wherever you're at. Now from downward facing dog, deeply bend the knees. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel forward. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Push the heels down. Inhale, rise. Fingertips to the sky. And then slowly, hands to the heart, take a deep breath into Tadasana. Okay. All right, so we're gonna come back to chair. Bring the feet together, big toes to touch, space between the heels. Shift the weight back into the heels. All right, ground through the heels, stand up tall. Inhale, fingertips up. Exhale, sink the hips down and back. Utkatasana, chair pose. Now, you can keep the arms up overhead or bring the hands to the heart. But I want the legs working hard. Seat down and back. You can wiggle the toes. You can stay here, or we're going to start to add those twists. So inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist to the left. Take a twist over to the left. Now, you might just twist, but maybe you can hook your tricep to the quad, placing the upper arm to the upper thigh as you twist and rotate. Turn your heart to the left. Maybe your gaze up towards the ceiling. Keep drawing your seat towards the floor and back. You can wiggle your toes. Take this rotation in this chair pose for one more breath. Inhale, return the spine to neutral. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step the right foot back. Pivot the right foot. Now this time we're coming to a different footing. Right toes are hooked in more than they were than the last round. Push firmly through both heels. Inhale, rise, warrior one. Virabhadrasana one. So warrior two, the back toes were turned out. Now they're turned in a little bit more. Left knee is still deeply bent. Both heels are firmly grounding. Lengthen the spine, reach up with the arms, but soften the shoulders. Okay, take another deep breath here in warrior one, Virabhadrasana one. All right, now from here, let's bring the left hand to the left hip. I'm gonna be having my back to you for just a moment, but we're gonna come into the same two poses we did on the first side, but we're adding the rotations. We're coming into revolved side angle, Parivrita Parsvakonasana. So inhale, reach the right fingertips up towards the ceiling. Exhale as you fold forward. Bring the right hand down to the inside of the to the left foot, to the big toe side. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, take the twist. Turn your heart over to the left, up towards the ceiling. Now, you've got lots of options. The right hand can be on a block or the floor. Okay, we want to keep the right heel down. If it lifts, it's no longer side angle, and it doesn't mean you're gonna hurt yourself, but can you challenge yourself to keep the right heel down and turn the heart to the left? Another option is to bring your right hand towards the pinky toe side of the foot, to the outside edge of the foot. That will help you rotate deeper. Maybe you reach your left fingertips to the sky. Parivrita Parsvakonasana. Revolved side angle. Take a breath. Inhale, exhale, untwist. Return the left hand to the left hip. Return the right hand to the inside of the foot. Okay, so again, I'm gonna scoot back, but now we're coming to the twisted version of that balance pose. So right hand reaches forward, about 8 or so inches, maybe more, of the left foot. And you're gonna shift your weight forward, right hand down, right foot up, right heel reaches back. Now you can stay here, your torso facing the floor, or inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist to the left. Draw your heart to the left, maybe reach left fingertips to the sky, but continue to reach the right heel back, flex the foot. Left heel down into the floor. Right hand down. Keep the spine long, even if it's twisting. Parivrita, Ardha Chandrasana. One more deep breath. And then slowly untwist, deeply bend the left knee. Let the right foot touch down towards the back of the mat. Bring both hands onto the floor. Inhale, exhale, downward facing dog. 3 to 5 breaths before we keep going. You're welcome to do whatever your body needs in this moment. Take a deep breath. And then from downward facing dog, Deeply bend the knees. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel forward. Forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Push the heels down. Inhale, rise. Fingertips to the sky. Maybe add the back bend. Bring the hands to the heart. Take a deep breath. Okay, last set of standing poses. Bring the feet together one more time. Again, I'm going to back up, but you could probably stay where you're at. All right, so feet together. You can wiggle your toes. Inhale, fingertips up. Exhale, sink hips down and back. Arms can stay or hands can come to Anjali Mudra, hands at the heart. Feet and knees together, hips down and back, quads and glutes working. No pain in the knees, no tension in the calves. Now, you can stay or inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist to the right. Now, you can just twist here and keep the arm and the leg separate, or maybe hook the quad and the tricep to use that as leverage to twist deeper. So push the arm into the thigh to really turn your heart up towards the ceiling. Maybe pick a spot on the ceiling, look at it, take a deep breath. Inhale, untwist. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step the left foot back. Pivot the foot, but the left toes are hooked in much deeper than they were in that first round. Push the heels down, inhale, rise, warrior one, Virabhadrasana one. Okay, so right knee coming forward, right heel pushing down, left heel pushing down, so you can stand up tall. We're just using warrior one as a transition, but find some stability, find some length in the spine, because the length will help the twist be deeper. You can't take a good twist if you're slouching. So lengthen, take this opportunity to really prep the pose. Take a deep breath. All right, left arm will stay up. Right hand comes to the right hip. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Bring the left hand down to the inside of the foot. Inhale, reach the crown of the head forward. Exhale, take the twist, draw your right shoulder back, heart over to the right. Now we want the left heel down. If it comes up, that's okay. You are just losing a little bit of this integrity, a little bit of the challenge of this pose, because this is revolved side angle. The heel off the ground is just a twisted lunge, which is much easier. So can you keep the left heel down, the left hand down, maybe to the inside of the foot, maybe to the outside of the foot, maybe on a block. And then maybe right hand at the hip, maybe right fingertips to the sky. Revolved side angle pose, Parivrita Parsvakonasana. Take a deep breath. Okay, inhale, exhale, return the right hand to the right hip, left hand to the inside of the foot. Now again, if you've got a block, grab onto it with your left hand. You're gonna shift your weight forward into the left hand that's on the ground, the right foot that's on the ground. Make sure that the left hand is directly under the shoulder. Block or no block, it's under the shoulder. Left leg lifts and floats and reaches back through the heel. Crown of the head forward, you gotta lengthen first. Inhale, exhale, take the twist. Rotate your heart to the right, maybe right fingertips to the sky, but allow the left leg to lift and float. Reach the heel back like you're putting a footprint on the wall behind you. Turn and twist your heart. Feel that ringing out of your waist, but engage the obliques to do it. One more deep breath. And then slowly untwist, bring both hands down, bring both feet down. Inhale, exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. 3 to 5 breaths to be where you need to be. Take your own time. One more deep breath here. Okay, now from downward facing dog, let's deeply bend the knees, come into tabletop. Okay, and then we're gonna come to a seat, so cross at the shins, roll over the shins, or swing them around. All right, we're gonna take one more opportunity to make sure abs and obliques are working before we come into what a lot of yoga teachers call the peak pose or the apex pose. So the way I always teach Vinyasa is I pick a pose that I want us to do that's really tough, that's really challenging, and we prep for, everything before it is prepped for that. So that peak pose is just 2 poses away, so one more prep pose. Okay, so bend the knees, heels on the ground, sit up tall, hands to the backs of the thighs, boat pose. Inhale, lengthen, exhale as you start to lean back. Feet can stay on the floor or feet can lift, but feet are together, flexed and lifted. Don't let the feet hover over the ground, lift them, heels and knees at the same height. Now lift your chest, lift your heart, broaden through the collarbones, relax your shoulders, relax your arms. Even if you're holding on, just don't squeeze, let them just rest, okay? Now the hope is that you feel your abs turn on here, not your back. You might stay here, you might release your arms, you might lengthen your legs, but we're gonna stay for 3 more deep breaths. So pick your level, pick your option, stay still, stay strong, stay focused, energized, enthusiastic. Take a deep breath, and then slowly release down. Bring your hands behind you and let your knees sway from side to side. Okay. Let your legs go to each side one more time, sort of loosen up through the abs, and then we're going to ask them to work one more time. We're going to do that pose one more time. All right, so back to boat pose. Sit up tall, hands to the backs of the thighs. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, lean back, feet come up. They don't have to though, feet can stay on the ground. They can lift, they can stay bent, they can lengthen, hands can stay, hands can release. This is our last boat pose. So, and also like I mentioned, the peak pose is next, then we relax. So we're almost there. Think about how much sort of fuel you've got in the tank and use it. So sit up tall, relax the shoulders. You can stay here. You can release your arms, you can stay here. You can clasp your hands, interlace your fingers by your belly. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist to the right. It's a small movement. Inhale to the center. Exhale, twist to the left. Return to the center. Do 2 more each side. Twist. Return. Twist. Return. Keep the feet where they're at. Try to keep flexing the feet. Lifting through the legs. Lifting through the crown of the head, through the chest. When you return to the center, bring hands to the backs of the thighs. Let the feet come down. Hands beside you. Let the legs sway. All right. Let the legs go each side one more time. Okay. All right. Once you come back to the center, we can go the opposite way, sort of the reverse. You could swing your legs around, or you could cross at your shins, roll over them, but we're going to meet in tabletop. From tabletop, walk your hands one whole handprint closer to the top of the mat. Hook the toes under. Inhale, exhale, down dog. Give yourself a few moments here. All right. From downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, deeply bend the knees. Inhale, look forward, exhale, travel forward, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Push the heels down. Inhale, rise up, fingertips to the sky. Maybe add a back bend. Bring your hands to your heart. Take a deep breath. All right. Now from here, we're going to come into our peak pose, our apex pose. So the pose we've been working for and working toward this whole time. Now for this pose, now I'm not sure how you're set up at home, whether you're facing the camera or the camera's to the side or whatever, but what I want for you is to make a quarter turn, yeah, I was gonna say a quarter turn twist. It's not really a twist, a quarter turn with your whole body over to the right. So you might not be able to see me, so you might want to sort of move that around if you need to. But what I want is all 10 toes, your whole body, the whole front side of your body turning now to the right, because we are going to make a quarter turn twist to the left, and I want you to face the same direction you've been facing this whole practice. So that is important, because this pose is tough, this pose is challenging, And if you're new to it, to help your orientation and your sort of proprioception, where you're at in the room, even a little bit will help. So I want you to still face the front once you've made the turn to the left. So if that makes sense, I'll just say it one more time. I want you to make a quarter turn twist with your whole body over to the right, toes, belly button, chest, all of it now facing to the right, towards one of the long edges of your mat. Okay, we're gonna bring the feet together. So this is what we're really going after is what we were doing on our back. Remember, squeezing the inner thighs, pushing the ribs down, tucking the tailbone, really reaching with the arms. That's what we're coming back to. Okay, so inhale, reach fingertips to the sky. Exhale as you take a malasana, but with your knees together. You're gonna turn over to your left. So you're turning a quarter turn twist over to your left. Now for me, my heels are off the ground, which is unlike a traditional malasana. That's okay. Heels can be off the ground, you can just be on your toes. Okay, but knees are deeply bent, thighs are together. You're gonna turn your upper body over to the left, placing your hands on the ground. Think about how you would place your hands for tabletop, for plank, for down dog. We want all of that same stuff. So you're still facing the same direction you've been facing this whole time. That will help you. Okay. Fingers are spread wide. Middle fingers point forward. Now, from here, what we want is to hook the left outer thigh to the outer upper arms, to the triceps. So, this is side crow, Parsvabhakasana. So you're going to, which way do I look? I think I look to the right. I guess it doesn't matter, but you want to look in some direction that makes your neck feel best, which is probably to the right. So pick a spot over to the right to look at. You're gonna lean into your bent elbows. So both elbows are bent very deeply like chaturanga elbows. You might have to kind of reach your hips to the sky first. This is kind of a wonky pose to get into. Now what I like to do is I like to, once I feel fairly stable, I let my left foot come out of the way. The bottom toes, I let them come out of the way. I squeeze my inner thighs in. I let the right foot lift and hover off the ground. Yeah, look over to the right. I'm sorry, I was confused at first on that. So this is Parsvakonasana, side crow. So if you're familiar with crow, right, this one, we're taking the twisted version. So all of those things need to happen that would happen in crow, but now we've added a twist. Okay, we're only gonna stay on this side for another moment because as one of my teachers would say, the cooking time for these poses is pretty short. You kind of burn out pretty fast. So again, deeply bending both elbows. They more or less look like chaturanga elbows. And then for those of you who feel really stable in this pose, you're like, oh, I know that pose. I can do that pose. Maybe you work on straightening your legs, which I think when you do that, the pose gets another name, but I'm not sure what it is. So if that's the case, if you're still on this side, you're resting your left outer thigh on the triceps. When you take this variation, left leg will straighten, right leg will straighten back towards the back of your mat. So left leg goes to the right leg goes to the back of your mat. Okay. We gotta try the other side. So, come on up to standing. We won't fuss with transitions. We're kind of running out of time, so I just want us to get to the second side. So I'm gonna come back to you for just a moment. But now think about the front of the room, top of your mat, how have you been facing this whole way? Now make a quarter turn twist to the left. Inhale, fingertips up. Exhale, bring the feet and knees together. Deeply bend your knees. Heels will probably come up off the ground, that's okay. You're gonna turn your upper body a quarter turn twist over to the right towards the front of your mat. So hands are spread wide, middle finger forward. You deeply bend the elbow. I mean, one of the keys to this too, and I should have said this on the first slide, I apologize. I often cue this pose based on what I look around the room and see people struggling with. So I'm sorry if there's a part of this pose that you're struggling with and I'm not addressing it. I usually give cues based on what I see in the room. So no one is in this room with me, so I'll just talk about where I focus on. That left arm really needs to hook to the outside of that leg. This is not going to be stable. It really has to come to the outside, and the twist is how we do that. Okay, so that left arm really got to hook to the outside of that right thigh. Hands down, deeply bend both elbows. And what I like to do, which is actually a cheat, so for other yoga teachers watching this, they're probably like, that's not how you do that pose. I cheat a little bit, and I let my right elbow rest here, making contact with the right hip. Traditionally, it's supposed to be freestanding, but that's much, much harder, and most days that's not in my practice. So I let my whole thigh rest on both triceps. For this one, I'm gonna look over the left. I like to get the bottom foot out of the way, get the right foot out of the way, then the left. Keep spreading your fingers, pushing through the fingertips. Keep your eyes on a fixed spot. If you're like, I need more, right foot comes to the left foot goes to the back of the room. And again, I think the pose gets a different name when you do that, but I'm not sure. Either way, it's side crow, Parsvopakasana. Give yourself just a few more moments. Maybe this isn't your pose, and that's okay. That is all right. There should be a lot of poses that you quote unquote can't do. How boring would it be if you could do everything? So the hope is that you spend some time working on stuff that's not necessarily in your wheelhouse, but you try, you practice, you explore, you have fun, you try new things. Okay, but you don't get down on yourself if you can't do it. You absolutely, that's like not allowed. It's absolutely not allowed. Okay, I'm done with that. Let's move on. Again, let's save fussy transitions for another time. Come on down onto your back. Just come onto your back. Make your way down. Whoo-wee. Maybe once you come down onto your back, you want to roll out your wrists. You want to do whatever you need. Give yourself some time. Take another breath. Okay, all right. Now come onto your back with your knees bent and your feet flat. Arms will come out in opposite directions with the palms facing up. Scoot your hips over to the right, 2 to 3 inches. Let the legs fall all the way to the left. And you can keep your thighs sort of stacked like this. Now, unlike the twist we were doing, I don't need your thighs squeezing together. Let them relax. You could stay here. You could lengthen your right leg, like your right foot is reaching for your left hand. I'll move over so you can maybe see that. So it's like your right foot is reaching for your left hand. They probably won't touch. They probably won't come that close. That's okay. Or you might cross your right leg all the way over your left like you would if you were sitting in a chair. Thighs are together but not squeezing. And then if it's comfortable in your neck to take the twist in your neck, turn and look over your right shoulder. Now this is meant to be a very passive, effortless, and easy stretch. All of the twists that we worked on so far were where you had to really work and engage to do it. Now I really want the opposite. I want you to soften. I want you to relax. You can breathe into your belly again now. Take 3 deep breaths here. If your head is turned, slowly return your head to the center. Return your legs to the center. Uncross the legs, recenter the hips. Take a deep breath here in neutral. Scoot your hips 2 to 3 inches to the left. Let the legs fall all the way to the right. You can keep the thighs together. You can lengthen the left leg like your left foot is reaching for your right hand, or you could cross it over your right leg like you would cross your legs if you were sitting in a chair. You might turn at your neck to look over your left shoulder, but allow yourself to soften and let go. The intention behind taking this twist is to be passive and soften the body, stretching the muscles that we've been so actively working. So again, belly breaths are really welcome here. Belly breaths are not so welcome when you want the abs to work. But we're not working anymore, so maybe take some deep belly breaths. Whether your breaths are belly breaths or not, take 3 more breaths here. If your head is turned, slowly return your head to the center. Slowly return your legs back to the center. Uncross the legs, recenter the hips, bring everything back to neutral. Take a deep breath. Inhale. Exhale, hug your knees into your chest. Maybe rock side to side. Trace circles with your knees, point and flex your feet. Maybe again, one more wrist stretch. To do the opposite of what we've been doing a lot is to place the backs of your hands together, like your knuckles together, like if you were wearing a ring, like where like the jewel would be, like those, that place that together and sort of press. You could do that. Okay. Give yourself just another breath or so. And then you'll settle into Shavasana. So you're gonna stay on your back, come on down onto your back, maybe with your legs extended. I'm gonna come to a seat. I think out of all the classes I've taught sort of virtually, this might be the one that I wish I could do Shavasana with you, but I would certainly lose track of time and forget that I was teaching a class if I were to lay down on my mat with the lights off and my eyes closed, so I won't do that. But I will let you indulge in a very nice Shavasana, hopefully. So coming down onto your back and positioning your body in a way that takes very little effort, very little focus. Coming into a shape you can relax, or you can let go, or you can soften. Every muscle that was once engaged can relax. Every joint that was holding stress, it can now soften. You put in the work, but now rest. more breath. Create soft, slow movements throughout your body. Let your head rock side to side. Run your thumbs over the rest of your fingers as you wiggle your toes. Roll your wrists and ankles. Move your arms and legs. You can reach your arms overhead, stretching as if you just woke up from a long nap. Fingertips and toes in opposite directions. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, hug your knees in towards your chest. And slowly roll over onto either side in a tucked fetal position, resting your ear on your arm to support your head and neck. Keeping your eyes closed and using the strength of both arms, push down into the ground and come up to a comfortable seat. And take a moment here to thank yourself for making it to your mat today. And maybe reflect on your intention. Loka samasta sukhi no bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. And may the thoughts, words, and actions of my life contribute in some way to the happiness and freedom for all. Now slowly join your hands together in front of your heart in Anjali Mudra. To seal our practice, we'll chant the sound of Om one time. Om is the oldest and most sacred mantra. Let's start with a deep and clearing breath. Inhale for Om. The light or the good in me acknowledges, respects, and bows to the light or the good in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, my name is Lauren. I am the Yoga and Fitness Program Coordinator at McFettridge Sports Center. And thank you so much for joining me. And always remember that one, of course, the first and foremost rule of all of this is things should be comfortable. You're in control of your body. But also, I think a very close second is remembering to be playful and fun and lighthearted. And if a pose was hard, that's okay. They were hard for me. At some points, I'm sure you could hear that I was out of breath. There's a reason I don't practice while I teach or teach while I practice. I don't do this two things together. But some of this stuff was hard. And if you're down on yourself because you quote unquote couldn't do it, that's okay. You will someday. And just keep at it and be playful and fun, and it's not a big deal. It's not that serious. It's really to enjoy. So remember that, and have a wonderful day and stay safe. Bye. Thank you.